welcome to the Knitted by Whitney YouTube channel. It might look the same for you if you watched last week's video, and for me, this is only about a few seconds later, but I am here with another pattern roundup video because like I said in last week's video, this is the second of a two-part series of knitting patterns because I had originally put together a really large bundle and I thought that's way too big for one video. I want to split that up so that I can take my time editing because whenever I have too many patterns to do in a pattern roundup video, it just makes the editing process much slower. So I thought I would break it up into two videos. So if you have seen last week's video, that was my top 15 shorts and skirts patterns. Today I'm going to be looking at my top 15 summer dresses. I am very excited about this list because I have been collecting some really fun dress patterns and I'm really excited to share them with you. I wanted to do some fun summery pattern roundup videos this summer and I wanted to get them recorded a couple of weeks ago, but I just didn't have the time. My summer's been really busy, so I'm finally having a chance to sit down now. And like I mentioned in last week's video, I'm working against the clock. It's already pretty dim outside. It's not quite dark yet, but like we're getting close to end of the evening. I won't say sundown because like the sun is already kind of gone. We're just kind of getting to the point where the light from the sun is starting to disappear as well. So I want to try and get through these quickly. But I'm very excited about sharing these patterns. So let's get into it, shall we? The first pattern that I want to share with you is one that I am so excited about. This is the Molita Dress by Vanilia, and I hope I pronounced that correctly. This is a pattern that just received an overhaul last year. So Vanilia Inez has been taking a look at some of her older patterns and updating them to be more size inclusive. And the biggest one that she undertook was her Molita Dress, which is kind of made to measure, kind of also sized. It's a little bit of both. It's a mammoth pattern, so if you are intimidated by large patterns, maybe like hold off on this one, but if you are ready for the challenge, this is such a gorgeous pattern, and everybody that I know who has made it looks stunning. My friend Emily of the Emily Knits channel has made this for her wedding dress, and it looked beautiful. She made it in this gorgeous copper color and it just looked so beautiful and it fit her like a glove. This pattern is one that's really up my street with my style as well. I love the buttons all the way down the front, but those buttons can also go all the way down the back because the dress is reversible. And it has these beautiful faux princess seams that go down both front and back of the dress that creates such a gorgeous fit. And especially in a yarn like the Knitting for Olive silk that's used in this pattern, with that particular yarn, you're going to get such a gorgeous flowy fabric. I have some cotton yarn in my stash that I would love to use for this, but I think I would rather go with something that's got a bit of a blend to it. Maybe a cotton silk, maybe a cotton linen, cotton viscose, something that's gonna add a lot of drape to it because this dress looks so beautiful flowing in the breeze with that really great drape to the fabric. If you want something that's going to fit your body really nicely, but you don't want to go through all of the fitting processes of the Molita Dress, this next pattern might work a bit better for you. This is Ribbed to Your Measure, which is an all-over ribbed dress. I love a ribbed fabric. I'm a really big fan of knitting ribbing, but I know not everybody is. However, you cannot deny how great of a fit you get with a ribbed garment, especially one that you want with neutral or negative ease. And this pattern really plays into that. This one is both a top and a dress pattern, and you can knit it top down or bottom up. I personally would do top down, but I know some people just want to start knitting right away, and that's great if you want to do bottom up. I love the combo of both the high-necked sporty tank top part of the dress on the top, as well as that sexy leg slit at the bottom. I feel like that's a really great combo and it really makes the pattern feel very lively and very energetic. But if you want something with a little more of a swish factor, this next pattern is for you. This is a brand new pattern that just came out, I think only a couple weeks ago. This is the 6th Avenue Skater Dress by Brianna Lupino of the Little Wolf Knits. I featured a couple of her patterns in my video last week, and I've got a couple this week too, because she's just so good at knitting for your curves. And the skater dress is no exception. This one harkens back to late 2000s, early 2000s, really my high school experience. We all wore those skater style dresses, and I love the option to now have a knitted one. This one also features some beautiful finishing touches with I-cord around the neckline and armhole. And I do believe there is a folded bottom to the skirt. It's not an I-cord, it's a folded edge, which just makes it look so chic, so put together, almost like you bought it in a store. And I just think with that classic silhouette, those finishing touches really elevate it. This next pattern on my list really speaks to that Cinderella in me. This is the Sabbreeze Clyde, I hope I pronounced correctly, by Mary, also known as Strandstrick. And I hope I pronounced that correctly as well. I do not speak German. I tried my best. I do apologize if it was not good at all. But this pale blue dress gives such Cinderella vibes, and not just because of the color, but also because of some of the features of the dress. As someone who likes to have their tops and their skirts cover their bra strap, this pattern has a feature that I really love, and that's a wide strap. Something this cute and delicate, you would expect to see something like an I-cord strap, and I'm really appreciative of the fact that it doesn't. It makes it incredibly bra friendly, and to me, it still keeps the elegance of the rest of the piece, and I think it works well with the ribbed bodice. It really creates a nice a line going from those straps into the ribbing of the bodice, and then you get this really fun stockinette skirt. Now, because there is both a ribbed bodice and a stockinette skirt, you do technically need 2 different gauge swatches when you are preparing to make this pattern, but I think it's totally worth it, and I've always been a fan of gauge swatches. I really love how relaxing it is to just knit up a little square and have sort of no strings attached, pun intended. You can just sit and knit and just relax. But I also love that this one features 2 different fits to it. You want the bustier, or the bodice of the dress, to be very form-fitted, almost negative eased, and then your skirt is positive ease. And I think that's a really great fit for the dress from head to toe. And I think that works well for the structure that you need for a knitted dress, because the weight of the skirt will start to pull it down. So having more structure with that ribbing is going to keep it in place better. And there are 3 length options for the skirt as well: a mini, a midi, or a maxi. So you could have it be just a cute little flirty dress, or you could have it go all the way to the floor if that's what you would like. This next pattern on my list is another really interesting construction. This one is the Lakeside Dress by Leah Klein, also known as Leah Ambra Knits. And this is another new pattern. This one just came out, I want to say maybe a month ago, but this is one that has 2 gauges again, because you knit the bodice in fingering weight and then the skirt in DK. Because Leah understands after you've knit a bodice and you have to start knitting a skirt, that skirt can sometimes feel like it's taking forever. So she upped the yarn size and upped the gauge so it doesn't take you as long to knit the skirt, which is genius. Her example shows a beautiful fade marled down the skirt, but you could easily just use a fingering held single for the bodice and then hold that fingering weight double for the DK size that you need for the skirt. So clever, such a great idea. And I really love that it is another one of those like classic skater style dresses. However, this one has a bit longer of a skirt, making it so versatile. It's styled at a beach, and I can really see this being used as sort of a cover-up or something that you would put on for a day date, or if you're going to maybe a sunflower field or something. this is such a great piece for that. The next pattern on my list is a little sexier. This is the Claudia Dress by Dani Ruiz. I hope I pronounced correctly. This is a made-to-measure dress, and I love it. I think it is so sexy. There's a lot of different ways you can customize this dress. The version that I've shown here is a mini skirt that features 2 keyholes along the front. But with some of the people who have made it who are maybe a little larger chested, they have sort of closed in that keyhole a little bit for comfort. Of course, you do you. If you want to have the 2 keyholes, by all means, go for it. But if you want a little more coverage, you can also sort of close in those keyholes a little bit. And my favorite version that I have seen is a floor-length bright red version with a really long slit going up the leg. It's so sexy. It is so fun and flirty, and I just think it is something special. The next pattern on my list is Breakfast in the Garden Dress by Mini Me Knit Design. This one looks so cute, especially if you're going for more of a preppy look. This one I could totally see being used as a dress if you're going golfing. I'm not a golfer, but my dad's a golfer, and I could totally, well, no, I could not see my dad in a dress. No, never. But if you were someone who likes to golf and you wanted to wear a golfing dress, I feel like this is such a great vibe for that particular style. Or if you're someone who likes to play tennis or any other sort of like country club kind of sport, this is so that vibe. And I think this would be such a fun look, as well as there are pockets to this dress. So if you need to put some golf tees in there, if you need to put a tennis ball in there, maybe you just need to put your lip balm or some snacks, you've got pockets for that. I really love these little added details to this pattern, those pockets, as well as that little tie right at the neckline. It just creates a really chic, fun look. And the textured stitch all over the body of the dress, I think it's a moss stitch or a seed stitch. It really gives an elevated look to a classic dress. I have another Brianna Lupino dress. This one is the Bayside Dress. And this one is such a gorgeous one because it hugs your figure so beautifully. My friend Chelsea of Knitting Tipsy is currently making this, and it looks stunning on her. The fit is glorious, and that's because this is a ribbed dress. So that ribbing is hugging you nice and tight, really showing off your curves. But Brianna is also such an expert when it comes to fitting over your bust and your hips and making your clothing look like it fits you, like it was made for you. In fact, it is, because it's a knitting pattern that you are making specifically for yourself. Now, this one you really need to do negative ease, and I feel like that's how you're going to get that really beautiful fit. And I know some people are new to negative ease or maybe a little nervous about it, but I highly recommend it. It creates such a beautiful fit, especially in a ribbed fabric. Now, this one is a midi length dress, and it's a fitted midi length dress. And I really love that. It just looks so chic, kind of like what you would expect to see with a classic like black sheath dress, something that would look super cute under a blazer at work, but then you could take your blazer off and have cocktails at 5 o'clock happy hour, or maybe you're just going from work to a date, something that you need something from day to night. This is a great piece for that type of styling. This next pattern, I'm probably going to butcher the pronunciation of, so I do apologize. I believe this is the Zukany Dress by Noma Unlavu. I hope I pronounced correctly. I do apologize. The name of the pattern is, I think it's a South African word. I do apologize if I got that incorrect, and I do apologize if I pronounced the designer's name incorrectly as well. This is a designer who has been on my radar for a while, but I just haven't gotten around to making any of her patterns, and I feel like that's a real shame because she is a plus size designer, and I really feel that that means she's got a really great take on creating items to fit larger bodies, but all bodies in general. I love the look of this dress because this is just such a great day dress. I love that it is a classic silhouette. It's got this really nice full skirt with those really fun big pockets. And the top is just a simple tank top style, but there's such energy and flow in the body and the skirt of the dress. There is this really cute stitch detail going right down the front, and the shape of the skirt with that sort of high in the front and back and low on the sides gives a really fun shape to a dress. It kind of reminds me of like Muna and Broad sewing patterns, or my friend Mia of the Knit and Grace podcast just finished sewing a dress that is a similar shaped skirt to this, and I just love how it looks on her. It's such a great, fun style, and it's something that I could see wearing like to a picnic, or maybe if you're just out for the day sightseeing or something like that. It's just got such flow and energy to it, and I feel that it would be so comfortable for all day. The next pattern on my list is the Made You Love dress by Vanessa Fleming. This is a bit of a made to measure pattern. There are a few specific measurements that do have caps to them, but there is such a lot of customization when it comes to the bust of the dress, which I do feel like is sometimes the hardest bit of a dress to fit to your body, the yoke, the shoulders, and the bust. So this one has a lot of customization there. My gripe about this pattern though is that there's no finished object photo of it. So I have taken a photo from Instagram where it's still not actually finished. It's still on the needles, but it's the most finished version of this that I've seen either on Ravelry or on Ocean Knits' Instagram page. So I apologize that I don't have a finished photo of it. I just didn't want to pull one from one of the projects on Ravelry just because that's someone's own picture. I don't really want to show that in a video unless I've gotten someone's permission. Using the pattern photos is different because that's usually the designer advertising their pattern. But if you go to Ravelry, if Ravelry is accessible for you, you can see some of the tester versions where it is finished, or you can search for the hashtag on Instagram as well if you can't use Ravelry. But I love this pattern because this is my cottagecore milkmaid dream of a dress, and I love that it's in probably my favorite yarn of all time, which is hedgehog fibers in the color Fly. So my favorite yarn color of all time, I should specify. I love that minty pistachio neon green. I just think it's so fun, and I just think this dress is stunning. It's one that really speaks to a specific aesthetic, a specific style. So it's not for everybody, but I just think it's so gorgeous and I had to include it on this list. If you like the look of the Made You Love dress, but you're more in the 90s sort of grunge aesthetic, maybe you like Friends more than you like cottagecore, this next pattern is for you. This is the Campanula Dress by Anna Herman Sorensen. I hope I pronounced correctly. I do apologize if I did not. It is a Scandinavian name, and I am not good with Scandinavian pronunciation, so I've tried my best. But this one is so fun! This is such a 90s dress. This is something that I would totally see Cher from Clueless wearing, or Buffy Summers, or any of those 90s girl icons. It is a mini dress, and it features a really great fit to it with these cute little cap sleeves and this really fun ribbed detailing along the front. And of course, a little bit of frill that makes it look like a lettuce trim. Now, if that doesn't sound familiar to you, that is when a sheer stretchy fabric is finished with a really tight, almost like a serged or an overlocked edge that really closes in those little edges of the fabric, but it does it in a way where it kind of frills it up so it looks like a piece of lettuce, which is where the name comes from. But I just think it is so cute to add a detail like that to a knitting pattern. It's so creative and so different, but the fit and the style of it is really classic to like a 90s shape and style. Now, I sort of hummed and hawed about this next pattern, about including it in this list, because you technically need to buy a book to get it, but there are some other beautiful patterns in it, so I thought I would include it just in case it was up someone's alley enough that they really wanted the entire book, or maybe you have access to it through your public library. But this is the Vanilia Dress by Sari Nordland, and it is from her newest book, Summer Knits. Now, this one just looks perfect for a summer wedding guest dress. I know it's kind of too late to get working on it now to wear this summer without giving yourself carpal tunnel, but this is something that you could start now to maybe wear next year, spring or summer, if you need to attend a wedding. I just think it's so elegant. It's so beautiful. I love the fit to it. It is just skimming the curves. It is coming down to a really great length, and it has that folded edge, so it looks really crisp, really clean, but it has a beautiful lace yoke. And I really love the style of this one. It does come up a little higher, and then you have these little spaghetti straps. If you need something wider than I-cord, I'm sure you could make either a double knit or even like a ribbed edge that you could create straps with there if you needed to cover up a wider bra strap like I would. But I just think it's so elegant and it was so refined. I saw it and I just knew I had to include it in this list. So I kept it in. So if you love it just as much as I do, or you have access to it maybe through your public library, you would need the book Summer Knits by Sari Nordland in order to make this particular pattern. These next two patterns are for people who want more of a quick knit dress because they're both made with bulky yarn. The first one is the Serendipity Dress by Isabel Vasiliadis, I hope I pronounced correctly. She also goes by IsKnit over on Instagram. And this is a bulky weight dress. I've included a photo of the black version that she has done, but she also has a color blocked version, which also looks equally cute. But there's two very distinct styles to it based on the color choices. And I love how classy the black looks. It just looks like something that you would throw on to go to brunch with your girlfriends, or maybe you need something for a date night, wear it with like a bright red lip and some nice heels, or just dress it down and wear it for the day. Versus the color blocked version definitely looks like something you would throw on over your bathing suit to go to the beach. It's much more casual. It's very like laid back and fun, but they both create a great look. I love just the classic V-neck dress, hugging your curves, a little bit of a split hem to give you a little bit more flow of movement, and a nice wide strap to cover your bra strap. Such a great style, very classic, very simple, but very effective as well. The next pattern on my list is also a relatively newly released design. This is the Silhouette Peplum Dress by Handmade by Kunbi, and I hope I pronounced that correctly. I was introduced to this designer last year by Dr. Charlie Untangled over here on YouTube and she did a series of Black knitters and crochet designers that you should know, and in that video, which I think was at least last year, possibly the year before, she mentioned that Handmade by Kunbi was working on this pattern, and this pattern has finally come out because I've been waiting for it. This is the boss lady dress, in my opinion. That's what it screams to me because it is a power dress. It is a gorgeous silhouette of a very tightly fitting bodice and skirt with a mermaid ruffle at the bottom. So this one is definitely one that you need to do some negative ease for it, but it is such a stunning fit. And I can just imagine being like the person in charge of a boardroom meeting wearing this dress at the front and just commanding the attention of the room. That's how it feels to me. And I just think it's such a powerful design. But you could also wear this as like a wedding guest dress. Maybe you need to go somewhere where the attire is more formal, but you want to have something knitted. This really fits that bill. I have one last pattern to share with you, and I've saved this one till the end because this has got to be the most versatile of all the patterns that I've shared with you. Because not only is it made to measure, it is also knit with any size yarn matching your gauge. So if you're not a gauge swatcher, you're gonna have to be for this pattern because you have to knit your gauge swatch first, and then the pattern is built around your gauge. This is called the dress. by Holly Wade. And I remember meeting Holly in, I think we did a pattern test together 2 or 3 years ago, and she was a relatively new knitter at the time. So it's so exciting to see that she has her own patterns out now, including one like this, which is so incredible. It is a dress pattern that is basically knit however you want it to be. It's a choose your own adventure dress because you have to work off your gauge. It's custom fit to your measurements, but it's also personalizable by whether you want to add sleeves, if you want to have short sleeves or long sleeves or no sleeves, if you want it to be short, if you want it to be long. There's so many options with this, and I really love how it sets the knitter free to make choices based on what they would like the final product to be. So if you're someone who really likes that element of creativity in your knitting, this is the pattern for you. And that wraps up my top 15 summer dresses. I have lost my fight against the light because I can see myself in the reflection of the window, but that's okay. I really wanted to get this video recorded and out to you because I was so excited about these patterns, and I really wanted to have these two videos coming out back to back, one week and another week, because like I said, I did originally envision these all in one video together, but it was just too much to do for one video. So I saved myself the trouble and I cut them up into two, and I hope you don't mind that as well. I hope you found something that you liked in this list of patterns, and if you know someone else who might enjoy this pattern roundup, I really hope you share it with them. If you're new here, thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate it. And if you're a returning viewer, thank you so much for coming back. It really means a lot to me. While you're here, it would help my channel if you could like this video, subscribe to my channel, and please leave me a comment below. Let me know which of these patterns that you really liked. Let's have a great conversation in the comments. You'll also notice in my description box below that I have links to 2 affiliates. The first is Création Miss Couture Yarns, who is an indie dyer based out of Alberta, Canada, and the other is to Hastacatha's Etsy shop, where you can purchase size-inclusive clothing made using natural fabrics like linen and cotton, and you can use my code Whitney10 to get 10% off your order. Thank you so much for joining me, and I hope you all take care and happy knitting!